G'day folks, this is Sim. Welcome back to ARK Survival Evolved. We are actually going to do it. We're going exploring and we're going to have a good look at the world and see if we can find a place to set up a primary base that has access to a few more of the resources that we need. I'm going to be heading around in this direction here. We do need to keep our eyes open for sharks because I'm hungry. Our friend here is currently carrying a few bits and pieces but not a great deal of meat, and I would like to rectify that. So we need to find something, and the shark is probably going to be the best option. Too many of them could prove to be a bit of a worry, but one on its own shouldn't be too bad. And it looks to me like I may have just I've just leveled up. That will be level 30. So now we need to consider where we're going to go from here as far as stats are concerned. And I think that I'm probably going to be looking at a little bit more health. We'll get that into us now and have a quick look at what level 30 actually brings. So let's just go down to about here. Alright, and where is the edge of it? Nope, need to go a little bit further. Here we go. Okay, so that's level 35. What we've unlocked is all of the metal building materials. We have we've unlocked the Parasol saddle. That is that large overweight giraffe looking creature. That's going to be actually rather handy. The Doedicurus is also going to be really useful, but they're a monster of a thing to tame. We've got ballistas, we've got smoke grenades, we've got all of the armors. But the most important thing is probably going to be those two saddles, because they're going to come in extremely handy. So we won't use the points just yet. We might get lucky and find some freebies, but we need to actually get out and about. So let's just have a look down here first and see if there are any sharks around. Not seeing much. You don't get great vision underwater, unfortunately. So I'm gonna probably stay on the surface for the most part anyway, simply because we are looking at exploring the terrain around here. So, whoop, there's a shark. Let's get him. Looks like it's only low level. I can't quite see from here. Level 4. And we should be able to take that out without too much trouble. In fact, let's just jump off just in case. Sometimes these things have an inventory. At this point, we look like we're okay, so let's just finish chomping away. You do get a ton of meat off these guys, and that, let's get up onto the surface, that will keep this lovely lady going for a while, and she won't eat my cooked meat and force me to eat the rotten stuff. Alright, so we're going to head in here and see what we've got. There shouldn't be too many sharks in the shallows. Got a Bronto over there. Looks like the water gets quite shallow up here, to be honest. And I'm suspecting we're not going to get past there at all with those stones, so that's probably going to be the limit. Let's have a look on the map. Although I have a funny feeling that it was doing some weird things with the map and it wouldn't actually let us bring it up. No, it's not. I have to get out to look at the map. That's mildly annoying. I'm sure we could do it before. It makes sense that you can't, but Alright, so yeah, so we're down here. We're probably going to head around the coast. So let's put that away. Alright, and let's keep right. Get some. Oh, no, stuck on a sandbar from the looks of things. I prefer to be below the water to see if there's anything nasty down here, but we do want to look around. Okay, so that's a potential site with the waterfall. The only problem that we've got there is a bit of a battle going on over here, and that raptor was never going to survive to trikes, that's for sure. The only problem with this, as pretty as that looks, one of the things that we're going to need is access to metal. So we need mountains, and at the moment we're not moving in the right direction to find them. So let's head down here. That's a fairly large sandy island on the left hand side of us. There's a bit of a hill up there, but there's not likely to be metal on that. It's not really big enough. If we come in here, we can see the first of the obelisks up close. And this is where you start to realize that things are definitely not just prehistoric. This is an alien artifact for sure, and we're just going to have to figure out what's going on. But with a name like ARK, kind of conjures up the whole these guys have kind of been put here. Oh, some dolphins. What level are these ickies? Can't really see. Come on, you. Got to keep an eye on my oxygen. Look at all the trilobites down there. Come on, let me see what level you are. If we get up close, there, that helps. A 22 and a 4. Not really spectacular. I think we'll just keep moving. Get back out here. And see what we can find. Okay, well, there's a beacon up on the shore there. I wouldn't mind getting to that. As you can see, the water down here gets quite deep, and if we head down here, we're likely to run into sharks and all sorts of other nasties. What we can also find down here are these oil rocks, and if I jump off quickly, the only problem is that all I'm getting is stone. I'm not getting any oil at all, and that's almost guaranteed to be because I don't actually have a metal pick, which is what I believe you need. So let's get up to the surface before I drown. And head down here and see if we can get to this stone. See if we can get to this beacon before it disappears. That's inland there, isn't it? I can't have a quick look at the map anymore because they've taken away the ability to look at it, which is going to be a bit of a bugger. Alright, so what we will do is we'll just duck down, make sure that there aren't any sharks close by. Stamina's doing well. Oh, what's that? That's a shark. There's another shark. Don't really want to fight them if I can avoid them at the moment. So let's just get around here and hopefully the water will be shallow enough. Or not. Oh. if I had the necessary materials, it would be tempting to try and tame that. But I don't even have the saddle, so that's crazy. Look, I think that shark is failing. That drop there is a white drop, so it's only going to be boring stuff. At least I'm pretty sure it's a white. Yeah, it's definitely cycling. Let's take this shark on. Okay, it's taking a bit of damage, so it's got a few levels. Oh no, I just wasn't doing a lot of damage. Alright, now we're going to meat coming out of our patoot. Alrighty, so look, I'm going to continue along, but as you can see, as we come up here, that there, those mountains are definitely more of the sort of mountain that we would like to have access to. And the main reason is that that's where most of the metals are. Now as we move further along to the north, and let's just get up into the shallows again and have a look at the map. Just make sure that there's nothing close by that wants to eat us. Alright. Whoa, there's a big shark over there. And it's playing games with a dolphin of some sorts, it looks like. That's an interesting looking... Oh, no you don't. Where did you go? Did I get on? Yes, I did. Whoa! Okay, that was unexpected. I didn't think they'd be able to get in, and there's two of them, so this could be a bit of a fight. But we are much faster than they are, and with the armor and the other things, this shouldn't be too much of a problem unless one of these is really, really tough. Oh, and now there's three. Oh, okay, time to run because my good friend here is taking too much damage. What is that? Oh, that's a dead dolphin? Meanie? Alright, let's run. Speed is definitely our friend. What's going on over here? Oh, that's coral. Okay, I was a little confused there. Let's just get up into the shallows and hope that they're not so... Oh, you are really hurt, aren't you, Skip? Too many sharks, and I think one of those might have been quite high level. Let's just have a look and see if we're being followed. Okay, that over there is the Sarco, and yeah, they're fast and they're not particularly friendly. So makes me nervous having that so close by. Let's head over this way a little more. The Sarcos can also come out onto the surface, so yeah, and I want to give Sandy here time to heal up. She's healing up slowly. Let's have a quick look at the map now. Okay, so as you can see, the map marker thinks we're out in the middle of the ocean, which is obviously not the case. And that bluff over there is definitely a promising option. It seems kind of close to some of these mountains, but still not very close. When you look at the map, you realize the distances that are involved. Any further north and we get into some quite dangerous terrain. So what we will do is I will get some words and we will head out, and what I might do is I might cut out here and let's see if we can get a close look at that sark, just so that you can see what we're dealing with there. Lovely, isn't it? Oversized crocodile. to the nth degree. Don't think it's following me. No, good. Alright, so what I think I'll do is I'll cut out and come back when we've got some interesting looking terrain to check out. Well, this looks like a little bit of a death trap. Sheer cliffs all around. Looks like some sort of and obviously stuff getting chased off the edge. Oh, and there it goes. Look at them all. Oh, what's that attacking me? Another shark. So yeah, we've got stuff that's falling down into here and is probably going to eventually drown the raptors as well. Nothing seems to be fighting. Alright, let's just leave the shark. Oh yeah, stuff is falling off the cliff, something chronic, isn't it? Just trying to figure out why that stone up there is just a little bit redder than everything else. Or maybe it's just the coloration. Alright, so now we're heading around the point to the north, and we are definitely moving into the most hostile terrain in the game. The north and the highlands by far are the most dangerous areas. This looks like sheer cliffs all the way around. More sharks and dolphins. I've got to keep an eye on the stamina because I need to be able to run if necessary. And lovely yellow beacon which we can't get at up there. Alright, we'll continue on and see what we find. Okay, well this is certainly looking a lot more promising, although the Sarco on the beach here probably would say otherwise. Let's just move down here a little bit further because it looks like there's some sort of inlet down here. But as you can see, we've got mountains on both sides, we've got lots of trees, we've got a fairly large beach. So here we go. Now, this area here is an area that I do know from multiplayer, and it's somewhere that I really like, and I probably will end up bringing a base here. Let's just be careful, and looks like there shouldn't be anything to worry about in here. This is one of the reasons why I like this, because we've got this little deep water pool that's got direct access to the ocean. If we come around here carefully, alright, we've got this nice big beach area here, lots of trees down here, as well as more forest up behind. We can actually work our way up through here, and it's kind of like a natural access path. And then you'll notice that this stone area up here is quite flat, but there's these large stones off to the side which mean that the whole area is actually a really good area for building. Let's see if we can get up onto one of these rocks. Now the downside is that there are a lot of nasties like Carnos and T-Rexes and Raptors and all sorts of angry things around here, which means setting up here early is really going to be risky because we could be biting off more than we can chew. So I'm thinking that this is probably going to be the location for our final or northern base, and we're going to have one to the south, one in the middle of the terrain somewhere, and one up here to the north. And around that mountain over there is somewhere what I wouldn't mind being. I mean, I would ideally like to be in between all of these mountains, but that's some dangerous terrain to cover if we don't have a flyer. And the saddle that we need for the Pteranodon is level 35, so I would have to do some pretty serious power leveling to get to that point. But I must admit, it is very tempting because having access to a flyer is another major step forward as far as this game is concerned. The Raptor is probably your first big jump due to the power that it gives you and the mobility. But the Flyers, they really change the game, because then all of a sudden, well, you've got a bird's eye view, and a high level, well trained Pteranodon is, well, let's just say they're a little bit overpowered. I can kill a T-Rex with a high level Pteranodon without too much trouble. The only thing that it really gives me any grief, to be honest, is alphas. So okay, that place definitely has potential. Lots of options. There's a blue beacon there. Do I want to risk my life chasing a blue beacon down? It looks pretty close. Of course I want to risk my life chasing a blue beacon down. I'm just a little bit too silly not to. Alright, this is going to be dangerous, because if I get caught, I'm only wearing cloth armor because I didn't want to worry too much about the heat. If there's a raptor or something in here, this may not end well. But blue's the top tier beacons that we have access to at the moment, and that wasn't that far away. Take all. Okay, that was a dinosaur gateway. That's going to save me possibly from learning something that I can save the points for, so that's worth it. Let's get back down onto the beach before a Sarco comes up and eats Sandy. And it looks like we've picked up a visitor along the way. What are you? You're a male, level 22. Unfortunately, nice to meet you, but we've got things to do, places to be. So we'll catch you another time, mate. Alright, so again, let's do a little bit of a jump cut, and we'll see what we find next that looks pretty awesome. Just take a moment to share this shot at night, because it really does look absolutely glorious, particularly with the beacon in the background there, or the obelisk I should say. And continue on. Lovely spot here with a nice deep bay close to the blue obelisk. Lots of trees around, a cliff that we might be able to take advantage of, but there does seem to be a rather large number of Rexes and other nasties around here, and there's an awful lot of creatures running away. So maybe not, maybe we'll continue to move on. Well, we've made it almost all the way around the island. Interesting spot just here. There's a hill there that might actually have some metal on it, but unfortunately we are now so far down to the south that we are basically cut off from the majority of the island, and I really would prefer a more central position. One of the things that is proving to be a little bit of a bother is the fact that there does not appear to be any water access to the center of the island that I can find at all. I may need something like a Sarco to be able to cover both ground and water-based movement. If we head back down and jump on our friend Sandy here, get a bit more of an outside view, you can see that that's some quite interesting terrain over there. This actually opens into a large islet, or inlet I should say, not islet. So this spot here itself is probably not a bad spot to set up somewhere to store dinos, and the cliff up there would be pretty good. And for a starting base area, I think I like this, but not for something a little bit more established. So I'm going to keep looking to see whether or not I can find a deep water access to the center of the island, because that would definitely help us a lot. Okay, so we've pretty much done a full loop, and I now know for sure that there is very little when it comes, well, there's no deep water access to the center of the island. For some reason they have chosen to block off all of the rivers with, oh, I'll take that, thank you very much. Hopefully I'm not too heavy for my dolphin. Yes, hopefully I'm not too heavy. But yes, so there doesn't appear to be much when it comes to access to the centre of the island by ocean, and I'm not sure whether that was by design or not, because the rivers are certainly deep enough to navigate, but they have most definitely been cut off. There are a few where you can, as I've done here, get up through because it's shallow enough, but you generally can't get very far before you strike a sandbar which runs across and leaves you in a position where you've got no real option. Now let's just have a quick look and see what we've got here, because we did pick up a bunch of meat which I can't really carry right now until I unload some of this stuff. We might just leave these stones here temporarily, grab the oil and the pearls. Oh, those shark's teeth, they weigh a ton. Alright, probably don't really need the berries either. Let's just grab some of this. Oh, no, that still says that I'm too heavy, and I want to be able to move at a fairly decent rate. Let's just have a quick look at what I am carrying and see if there's anything here that I don't need. Some metals, some stone arrows. I probably don't need all of these spears, so let's split them off and drop half of them. That at least allows me to run slowly, and we might, if we're lucky and we don't get blindsided by a raptor or something, we might get up here and get to this other beacon before it's too late. However, based upon what I've discovered so far, I've got two options. I can go scouting on the raptors, and the only downside to that is that you can't get a real judgment on the terrain when you're down at ground level. Oh, that's probably going to break, but it was only a cooking pot and a wardrobe, so not that big a deal. Alright, I need to unload this stuff and do a little bit of housekeeping. Now the other alternative, which would probably be a lot more interesting, is that we go hunting an alpha. What I would need to do is I would need to find an alpha in a position where I can kill it, and take advantage of the levels that I will get from fighting it to level up to 35, which will then allow me to make myself up a saddle for our pteranodon, and then we can do some much more serious exploration. There are also a few dinosaurs around here that I want to tame, such as the parasaurs. They particularly look interesting as a low-level mount that's capable of carrying a lot of weight. They would be ideal when it comes to moving base, and I don't think they're going to be too hard to tame if I can find one that's at the right level, but it will take a lot of time. What I will probably do now when it comes to taming is I'm not going to put you through repeated processes because it is laborious. What I will probably do is show me taking down the dino, and then we'll cut back in when the taming meter is almost there, and we'll talk about any special requirements that the dino might have. And obviously if I'm going to be taming dinos that I've already got, then you probably don't really want to see that again. Let me know in the comments what you think is interesting and what isn't as far as the game is concerned, because I mean we haven't even touched on the building aspects yet, and it's very easy to get wrapped up in taming dinosaurs and chasing down beacons, but there is a lot more progression to play with, and we've only just touched the surface. As it is though, hope you enjoyed the ocean cruise, and I look forward to seeing you all again next time. Until then, take care of yourselves, look after each other, and ciao for now.